the introduction. So we're before time. Yeah, we were before time. I guess we can wait a minute and just.
We should be punktlich. German time.
Yeah, it's important. This was the first time we were live before time.
Okay, I'm just gonna put my food out here so I don't make any noise.
You're gonna be eating the whole got a try.
Antoine, what do you guys see right now?
We are seeing the poster of the conference call.
Great.
We see kind of a guru.
Yes, I think it's Annika did this. Is this like a Woodstock picture?
It's the Woodstock mass meditation picture.
Mass meditation.
Yeah.
That's what you guys do, right?
Like 10,000 people meditate at the same time.
It's pretty good.
Annika?
Wow, this is so amazing. Like this?
Yes.
Is it a man bun? Or is it a roll up? Oh.
Okay, so can we start in that order?
Sure.
Okay.
So it's done.
So you can
okay.
start.
So we would like to welcome Antoine and Simon from Bellastock, live from Paris, to conference call number 12. I'm Sam, and this is Dan, and we are speaking from our studio in Berlin. So first I make a little intro about Bellastock's work, or who they are, and you guys can then correct me if I say anything wrong.
Okay.
So they're based in Paris, and they started in 2006, which means this year is their 10-year anniversary.
Right.
So big party. Big party, big project. And they focus on experimental architecture and alternatives to building processes. And they're known mainly, I think, for the big festivals they organize every year. So mainly in like fields of, let's say, education and pedagogy. But they also do publications and master classes and their own design projects. They also have this project called ACLab, which is this sort of like recycling and reuse lab in the middle of like a future site, or in the middle of a site for this future eco-quartier in Saint-Denis. And I guess there is where you make a lot of your experimenting with materials. So what you can see from the pictures is like there's a demolition site right now, and you guys probably work with all these flows of materials at this site. And yeah, so first question is
let's introduce. So Sam, Dan, and on the Bellastock side we have. Would you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah. So I'm Antoine. I'm one of the architects of Bellastock.
Thanks.
I'm Simon, and I'm also architect and working for Bellastock.
Okay, Antoine and Simon.
Yeah.
So first question is like about beginnings, like if you could describe what is Bellastock, and like what kind of like sparked it off. What was like the kickoff to you guys coming together and starting something?
So Bellastock now is an association of architects, and we first start like 10 years ago, like you said, during our study, because we wanted to build by ourselves. And now after 10 years, it's about like we begin to be specialists of material and project cycle. We also work a lot, like I said before, like to make the conception and also to be builder. And the last point, which is important for us, is how together a large public around the architecture subject. So little by little, we are trying to develop all that 3 points, which are really important for the association now. And we are six people now, 6 architects, and we divide our work between like reusing expertise. We also write research about reusing material. Simon, for example, is working with kind of architecture sensibilization.
Awareness raising.
Yeah, and I'm doing the international cooperation, and there is a last guy which is really focused on construction. And the team is growing each year.
And each project will involve different specialists or people.
Okay, so after 10 years, how many people are you altogether now?
So we are 6 architects that are full-time job employees. There is 1 people that is in charge for all the administration work, full-time job, and another guy who's like a part-time job for communication. And we have many interns, volunteers, or kind of volunteers that are called service civic.
Okay.
Like a civilian service.
Okay.
And yeah, a lot of volunteers too. But
so throughout the years, you've formalized yourself a bit more.
It was a student project and became totally professional.
Okay, cool. You said in the beginning that you wanted to build things yourselves.
Yeah.
Was this like coming out of like a frustration in school that this was not available? Yeah. And you guys had this kind of need for it?
Yeah, it was key for us to study architecture, and they told us one day you will work with the carpenter, you will work with people who know how to deal with iron, and the problem for us was how we can drive the people and work with that people if we never touch the material. So for us it was like one of the first point. If you want to be architect, you have to touch the material and to feel it, and then your conception will be better. That's what we believe.
That was also the point of like building at scale 1.
Okay.
And to experience the buildings at scale 1. Because like architects, they are, I mean, studying architecture, as you know, you are behind your desk, drawing desk, but you never get the chance to build and inhabit what you've drawn.
Okay, cool. So you kind of filled that gap in your school, so to say.
Yeah.
And then realized that a lot of the students recognize themselves in this.
Yeah, of course, because each year, at the beginning, it was only 100 people, and now we are 1,000. And each year, like students from architecture school in Paris, they are asking us if they can participate, and they also get involved in lots of other projects where we are building by ourselves. So there is a real ask.
And this picture here, is this one of the first festivals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's it's the 4th.
4th. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, there were another issue as students to implement this festival was that as we took like back the student association back in the days, and we had a kind of small problem for students that we could not make parties in our school anymore. So that was the point, like to not make big parties like you know, this like big school of financial studies or things like this, or medicines, or like doctors. You know, like they make huge parties in clubs, and they privatize clubs, and they just drink and drink and drink till they puke. It was like totally not our point of view, our philosophy. The idea was to like use the small amount of money we had to build a festival with a pedagogic view.
Yeah. Yeah. And to fill the gap with one-to-one.
Yeah.
Hands-on. And the idea was to build an ephemeral city where, like, when you inaugurate this city, everybody is celebrating the work, the common work they've done.
Okay, so our next question is about your historical references.
Yeah.
And I mean, the idea of the festival, is it because you thought there was a lack of this kind of thing in France, or was it something that you had experienced other places? And what kind of inspires you when you're coming up with concepts for these festivals, for the materials? Yeah, references.
Actually, we don't really know what gave us the influence to make this festival. That was more a need. I mean, needs to make it than references. But to answer your question, there is a point that we are many architects and many people has been involved in the project since the beginning, and the project has now like 10 years. So the different collectives, historical or contemporary references, have changed a lot since 10 years, and there is a huge bunch of references we are using. But we can say that, like, we've always been pretty amazed by the work from the super studio, or like the Italians 70s and things like this, like just, or archigram, like to make the things they've drawn but they've never made, like this big collective building site and things like this.
And one thing more about the references, each year, you know, we select a subject about inflatable, like reusing material, and we organize like lectures in the architecture school in Paris, and we invite specialists of each subject. So, for example, for the inflatable construction, we invite Hans-Walter Müller, and he's one of our references. Each year we try to discover new people, and they help us to organize and to prepare the big building event.
And what's the theme this year?
What?
This year, the theme for this year, and
Yeah, we change a bit because it's the 10th anniversary. So we ask people, they will not make their own shelter. We ask them to use a kind of public space that we will use it during 2 months.
Public furnitures.
Okay.
Prefigurate renovation of a big park in the suburbs of Paris.
And you also use like the 10 years to do like a kind of synthesis or something of what you've done until now, or?
Yeah. Also, it's it's the time to make this turn and to be more close to our thoughts. Means like we prepare one of the things, like connecting with this type of matter, that many things already exist, and we prefer that the participants in the festival bring contents more than shelters.
And also, we will invite more French collectives during the festival, and we will use the festival like a time that a student can have discussion and can meet that collective who are trying to work a bit differently.
So like a big public forum.
Yeah, kind of, but like informal. I mean, there will be a kind of some presentation, but we really hope that after that the student can speak with that collective.
Is that because, I mean, do you have a lot of sitting and talking in the previous years, or is there a need from the students that you heard over the years that they want more of this, or is it your initiative?
Public intervention?
No, for the talking, for like the more, for the forum and more talking, more thinking.
Yeah, normally we had like, we did it before, but it was like more people or politics who give up the site. They went there to speak about the future project on that site. But that year for us it's really important, after 10 years, to show that it exists a lot of people who are making such kind of test, architecture, intervention. So for us it's really interesting to show that work to the student and to explain them that the architecture work and the the job of architect is changing in a way.
Okay.
There is also the idea that many of these interventions will not be made by architects. It's also, like the time to say that what we provide with architecture and circular economy can be like this thought can be provided in different spaces and with different approach and technique, and jobs and
Okay. I mean that could be a good connection to this next question, which is about kind of like a politics or an agenda behind your work and all these kind of images, because we get images as people who have never been there,
Yeah.
and text and the website. And I mean, usually architects or young architects are a bit allergic or shy of this word politics, but it seems one that you're really trying to like open up the field actively, you know, with this whole sharing and pedagogy and like almost this like democratizing architecture, because it's with so many people in this short amount of time. Can you speak a bit about this? If there is in fact a politics informing the work you do,
Of course.
or if not, why not?
Yeah, of course there. If you look a bit on all the projects of Bellastock are doing, they're really different. There is something in common, is that when we go on a territory and when we develop an architecture related to a territory, we will study the material resources and also the human resources. For us, that 2 points are really the base of the project we developed. So for us, it's a kind of politic way to develop our project.
Okay.
we are always political when you deal with cities and urban spaces. You're always political.
Sure.
Feel like at the center this kind of idea of resources, as they are materials or human or alike. This is the center of our politics statement.
Okay.
Yeah, so similarly, the idea of the public. What is the role of the public in your projects? And maybe an additional question is, are you creating your own public, or how do you see the public in your projects?
It's a large question. We'll say that the answer like many roles for the public. For example, during the ephemeral city or the festival, what we see is a kind of urban. So it means that with this idea of the scenario behind this urban, the public could be the organizers, could be the participants, could be a large-scale public, could be the politicians. They can all get involved in the project by taking a role in the specific urban function. That's the point from the festival. For other projects, public can be involved in many ways. What is now a trend to talk about participation? We don't really like the word because for us it means so many things into just one word. And there's many ways to make a participation of the public. Another way to get your question is like thinking about the difference between private and public. But it's like we can talk about this for hours.
Sure, many publics.
I mean, yeah, it's just okay. Maybe you can tell us. Sorry, I am quite curious about this image we were looking at before.
Yeah,
This is from the latest Bellastock festival.
This one is people. They were moving the wheel. They were moving the structure, pushing it to move to the other side last year because it was about mobile architecture. So the old structure is a Y. Wheel. Sorry.
Okay, the wheel. And all the projects were mobile and were rolled around in the nature, not in the city, or.
So the idea was to test the structure and their mobility, their capacity to be mobile. So
Yeah.
some of them were like big failure, but when you make experimental architecture, as we think, failure or to fail or to manage to make it to success, and it's the same result. Yeah, if you want to walk, you need to learn how to fall.
Yeah, I like that.
That's interesting. Which also has to do with this next question.
Kid.
Okay.
This idea of failing and like building, doing it again, restarting, testing again, you know, this design and build at the same time.
Yeah.
There's the kind of like more established or traditional way of doing it in architecture with a lot of planning in the office and then onto site. And maybe now we're kind of questioning that or trying different methods. But in the festival itself,
Yeah.
you were saying before that the students, they build their shelter for those 3 days. How does it work with them? Do they design it first and then submit it to you and then improvise on site? Or do they do everything on site with the materials? How does it work in parallel to what they're doing at school? So with their normal classes?
For the festival, yes. Then first we just make a file which will present all the material and the scenario of the 4 days. Then they send us back a kind of a project that they design. We just look if the project is complete, and then I'm sure on site they completely change their mind and the project because they have to try. Sometimes it's a big failure, so they just change everything. So for us, just to answer to the rigid or not, the condition of the experience is a bit rigid. We organize like each year we are really organized. The logistic is really perfect, but the experience is completely flexible. I mean, we let the people completely do whatever they want.
And actually, we settle a frame, but even this frame can be exploded, and it's not totally rigid. It could be flexible also because you have to adapt to the context and to it could be the meteo conditions, the weather. You always have to be flexible with the weather when you're doing like experimentation outside. So, and there is another point I want to make. It's not because like the outcomes are flexible or could be adaptable to the context that you have to say that. And could be a fantasy to think that there is no work behind the desk and in the office. There is a huge amount of work in the office to settle this frame and to organize this. So even more, if you want to try to be flexible and to adapt to each context and each situation, you have to go through many different issues, and you couldn't plan. So there is a lot of work behind.
That's interesting. There's more planning, but a different kind of planning.
Yeah,
exactly.
Of course.
So providing this framework that you say is very, very rigid, very solid, so that it allows for improvising, which is a very difficult thing, actually.
Exactly. Actually, it's the good word. It's not rigid. It's solid.
Okay.
But we are still flexible guys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
With money.
I'm gonna have to ask the mafioso question. How do you finance your festivals and I guess yourselves, and the point is like your business model and your structuring within your group. We're all curious about that. Maybe you can talk about that.
Well, there is many ways to finance. Because there is different projects. So, and it's always a balance between different projects. So there is a huge financement by the schools, by the Ministry of Culture, by the European European Cultural Program financement. There is also a huge amount of money for the festival. It's just the, participation from the participants.
The territory also is paying.
Yeah, territory. So there is and other projects are. We just send bills to the clients as many people doing business actually. So it's a balance between self-financement, subventions, grants, and bills. And we pay bills with money actually, but even Antoine tried to pay some bills without, we can imagine, but do not work anymore.
And one thing, something interesting is that now Bellastock is like 50% from public subvention, and we have 50% coming from, for example, like reusing expertise. We are like making a lot of work now to analyze the different demolition they will do, and they will plan around Paris, and we try to make a kind of diagnostic to know which element they can reuse for some future project. So it's like half now.
Okay, so like collaborations.
Yeah, there is another way to. We do not make only reuse expertise diagnostic. There is also something we call. How you can make a cultural programmation within sites that are demolition site or construction site.
Okay.
Yeah.
So partnerships with demolition companies. Is that what? Okay.
It's not a partnership. They pay us for our reusing expertise.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
like architect.
Analyzing and okay.
We are kind of demolition architect specialist.
That's interesting. I mean, we were talking with Rotor last week, 2 weeks ago, from Brussels, and they're also in this kind of same world.
Yeah, of course.
I guess.
We exchange. Sometimes we exchange or we met, and we discuss about the different work we developed in Brussels and in Paris. So it's really interesting for us.
And so you feel that from the other side, from the industry side and the construction side, there's openness to this and interest in this.
It's coming.
More.
Yeah, there's a lot of big companies now. They really get interested in our work because there is the law, for example, is changing, and they will ask in 2020 to reduce 70% of the garbage of each building site. So the guys they know that they recycle, but they begin to get interested in reusing, which is the next step.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's me now.
Yeah, we do have interns.
Yeah, this is a classic question. Yeah, interns and like how you guys are structured, I guess. Like, I mean, you explained a bit in the beginning your kind of not hierarchy, but how you are structured. But maybe you can add a bit onto that.
Yeah.
And what are your views on this whole? Because obviously it's always in discussion, this thing about interns and this model of overwork and then designing toilets in big offices and not getting this like great training. What are your views on this?
Even interns are doing toilets. It's always like a challenge to draw toilets for 1,000 people.
Sure. For a festival, yeah.
To answer your question, how like Bellastock Association is organized? It's organized in a pretty democratic way, actually. So there is a administration council who gather like 3 presidents and 3 administrators coming from the members, the huge amount of members of the Bellastock Association, plus one who is like representing the employees. And you got like this big general assembly where all the members are gathered to vote for the strategic or politics or agenda lines for the next 2 years or every year. And also about like administrative politics, how you deal with interns. It's like no way to use interns as slaves, okay? For sure, for us, it's or even students, because many of our interns are students, and they got different levels and skills. So you have to, in a way, like to improve their skills, or also to profit from the skills. For us, when we get an intern, it's always the question to, it's a work to have an intern. I mean, we have to care for him and to actually take the time to work with him and to go through, because as an intern, he has to claim his right to fail.
Mm-hmm.
It's something pretty important for us, this idea of failure, that is a success to fail. Mm-hmm. And how there are, I mean, some of the long internships, they get paid, and short-term internships, like for building sites, they always get food and drinks.
Okay.
And skills.
And skills, yeah, sure.
And fun.
And fun.
Yeah, of course.
I hope
It's important.
I just, sorry, for the structure, like you were describing the structure of Bellastock, but you're talking, when I look on the website, there's festivals in China and Chile and Canada.
Yeah.
So are those different groups existing in those countries that you're connected to, that you've established, or what's the story there? I'm not.
The story is like, it began in 2011. A French student, went to Aarhus in Denmark for 1 year. He was a friend of us, and he asked us, can I develop a Bellastock there? And then he did the first one in Belgrade. There we met 4 girls from Spain. They were living in Madrid. Then they came back to Madrid. They developed Bellastock in Madrid. And then it began to be like more and more country. And the story is, we never look for people. We never look for people to do a Bellastock there. It's people who call us, or they participate in Bellastock here in France, or they know people who participate, and they call us and they say, okay, can I develop a Bellastock there? Do we have some element or files? And then I send all the documents to them, and they contact me each month if they have question or whatever they want, and I will help them to develop and to go step by step how to make an architecture festival. That's how it developed. And for the structure, sometimes it's young architects. They just developed a kind of collective. They do a Bellastock like a pedagogical work, or sometimes like in Brussels, it's like 5 students who decide to organize it. Depends. Each country is a different story.
Yeah.
But what we can say is like this Erasmus exchange program did a lot for this development. First, like back and forth from countries to another and so on. And what Antoine said is it's all about like providing a methodology and giving tools and providing a methodology to settle the good frame for a festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being open source, right?
Yeah, of course. And then we try to develop our tools to make it easier for the people who organize Bellastock in different countries to exchange their information about material, about logistics for a collective building site. I mean, it's like they develop their own Bellastock now.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And they will all come this year in the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, we invite them, and we are trying to look for money to help some guys from Chile, Mexico, from China, because it will be expensive for them to come.
Sure. Cool. Good luck with them. Oh, okay. We're on to the next question, and I'm going to last question.
Yeah.
I'm going to single you guys out here. I'm going to have to say Antoine says the Bellastock's proudest moment, and Simon talks about the biggest failure.
Actually, the proudest moment for me are the biggest failure.
Okay, so
No,
We'll give you stories. We'll give you good stories.
for me, we were really proud when the culture ministry called us last year, and the ministry wanted to develop a kind of architecture national strategy, and they asked Bellastock to represent the young architect, and we went for I don't know, for discussion and trying to explain what is our work and how we can develop such kind of strategy like we developed with our association. So for me, it was one of the proudest moments. It means that people recognize our hard work.
Okay. So this has happened.
Yeah, it happened.
So let's get this picture. And I'll tell you a story from one of the biggest failures that became a big success too. Back in 2011, we make this inflatable city, like the Wondrous city, and to provide the air and the materials, like everybody has to share to build and to inflate this structure. We did a kind of octopussy to like provide the flow of air all over the space, but we had problem with the blowing machine because the blowing machine was like transforming electrical energy into mechanical energy, but there was like this electrical energy was provided by another mechanics and so on. So like it was always all the time crashing down because electricity was, I mean, the blowing machine was too big, so it was going faster than the motor. So at the end,
The motor exploded.
And so we had to find a solution to inflate this damn city. So, and I told you it's all about like ephemeral city, and you know, like in the myth of building a city, there's always this time when you make the limits, you inaugurate, and there's always something you have to. I mean, like you kill a ship, you know, you have to make a sacrifice. So we actually sacrificed the motorcycle from Baptiste, a colleague from us. And we directly connected the wheel, like the blowing machine to the wheel. I mean, to make the blowing machine go. I mean, to inflate this. So we have, because of this failure or something we didn't plan, you have to also, like in our frame, to make this kind of improvisation to make it. But I mean, this biggest failure, we didn't plan that the electricity will break, and we finally find a good solution, and it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, I think we saw pictures of this.
Sounds great.
And this half motorcycle in a box.
Yeah, we will send a photo of the mechanic. It was a bit dangerous, but the motor ran like during 2 days, and each 2 hours we had to put oil on the motor, and the motor was still running because we put scotch on the accelerator. So I will send a photo.
It was not super eco-friendly, but at least the electricity are coming from nuclear. I mean,
Okay, so it's under intense pressure, like for the opening that you came up with this.
Yeah, I mean everything's inflatable.
Yeah, but we have a lot of stories, good stories with like I mean, super good memory. Like what we did in Vitrol was a super good memory. When you see all those people like from this neighborhood, like super happy in what you, the team has done, as public furniture and so on. And when you see smile on faces, that's the proudest moment, actually.
Great.
Okay, now we pop the cork, right? Because we got 12 conference calls. Woo!
So we have French champagne.
Yeah.
You guys want some champagne?
You only get
We can drink champagne on Hangout.
Yeah, there's this function.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see
Do you
it.
have it? The drink.
Oh, yeah, there's an app, right?
Yeah,
Champagne app.
USB cable.
That's the camera.
What's
But
that?
it's Italian. But don't
Oh, it's Italian.
tell them.
It's okay.
Okay, it's okay.
Great, guys.
Okay,
Thanks a lot for participating in this.
you're welcome. It's finished now.
Yeah, we're kind of finished. What? Yeah, 40 minutes. That's usually our time. You know, we have to be punktlich.
Did we speak too much?
No, it was
No,
great.
Very to the point. And I think this motor fan, I'm gonna have to ask you to submit it to our co-machines call. I don't know if you heard about this. We're looking for the inventions.
Ah, great.
And I think this one fits pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could.
Yeah, with this story behind.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. All right.
Cool, guys.
So thank you so much.
You're
Keep
welcome.
up the good work.
Hope to see you soon in Paris. Actually, we are coming in Berlin.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do something. We will make a festival in Berlin in 2017.
Ah, great.
With because in our cultural European cultural exchange, I mean artistic cooperation, we are working with art center within Moabit. It's called
C'est KO.
Kunstrepublik.
Kunstrepublik.
yeah
You know him? Philippe.
ZKU.
C'est KO,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
ZKU in Moabit.
Yeah.
And so we are doing work. So maybe we will. You as a public, you get involved into it.
Sure, of course. We're
Yeah,
there.
we will talk soon about this with you guys and try to connect you with this. And also maybe Alex Romer told you about this project from a guy from ZKU called Samuel Kalika, and he's doing something in Porto. Could
Yes.
be for you.
Yes,
Yeah, I know. This concrete,
Critical concrete.
critical. I meet him tomorrow, actually, for this.
Yeah, cool.
And
Cool.
what's
You will join, Sam?
Sorry?
You will join in Critical Concrete?
I haven't. I meet him tomorrow. I don't know anything yet.
Cool. If you
Where?
can meet in Porto,
Yes.
You can
That
say
would
to
be
Samuel
nice.
that you know Antoine and Simon, you'll see the smile on his face.
we have
Okay.
a really good time in Greece.
Cool.
Okay, guys.
Bye bye.
Hey,
Thank
thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
for
guys.
coming.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.